guys, and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to look into today is the murder of a woman called Alison Parker and a man called Adam Ward. And this murder, double murder, occurred live on television. So yeah, it's a very tragic case. Let us get into it. Alison Parker was born on the 19th of August in 1991. She grew up in Martinsville in Virginia and went to Patrick Henry Community School. From there, she went to James Madison University where she gained her degree. In 2012, she began an internship working for a company called WDBJ. It was a news company. She would work her way up through this company. She was in a long-term relationship with her boyfriend and they had just moved in. This was now in 2014, and Alison had finished her internship. She was working for WDBJ and things in her life was really looking up. She was at a great time in her life and she was just looking forward to the future. Also, as I said, they just moved in together, her and her boyfriend. They were also planning to get married. Adam Ward was born on the 10th of May in 1988 in Daleville, Virginia. He would grow up in Salem though. He went on to get a degree in communication and media from Virginia Tech, and in 2011 he was taken on by WDBJ as a videographer. Sometimes he was also work as a sports presenter too.
In Salem, Adam Ward, News 7 Sports.
Again, was in a really good point in his life. He had a long-time relationship with his girlfriend who he had recently proposed to, and she accepted, so they were engaged and they were planning their future together. They were planning their marriage and just looking forward to spending the rest of their lives together. And again, he had a good career, he was doing exactly what he wanted to do, so everything was falling into place for them both. Alison and Adam eventually would both go on to work for CBS. Alison worked as a news reporter, whereas Adam worked as a photojournalist, and often the pair would work together on a crew. She would be the reporter and he would video it all. On 26th of August in 2015, the pair were both assigned to do this interview with a woman called Vicky Gardner. She was an executive director of the local Chamber of Commerce, and it was due to take place in this place called the Bridgewater Plaza in Minetta, which is in Virginia. Whilst they were conducting this interview, they were getting into it. Alison was asking Vicky questions, and Vicky was of course answering them, whilst Adam was on the camera. They were attacked live on air. At 6:46 AM, a man armed with a Glock 19 9mm pistol approached the crew. They were shot by this man. He shot quite a few times at a lot of people there, and unfortunately Alison and Adam did not survive the attack. They were pronounced dead at the scene. Vicky got shot also. She luckily did survive the attack and she was rushed off to hospital where she underwent surgery. She actually had been shot in the back and luckily she survived the attack. Alison and Adam's body was sent for an autopsy, and it was revealed that Alison died from gunshots to her head and chest area, and Adam died much from the same, from shots to his head and torso area. Now, because they were live on air, they actually managed to catch the attacker briefly in the shot, and the people at WDBJ, where the show was being broadcast from, were watching this all unfold, and they were able to identify the man that attacked them, that was briefly in the shot, and they identified him as Vester Lee Flanagan. He was a 41-year-old man and he was a former reporter at the company. He had actually been fired in 2013 for unsatisfactory work and not being able to work in a team by all accounts. When staff identified him, they immediately told their manager, who immediately rang the police and told them everything they knew about it. After the horrific incident occurred, a manhunt went on for Vester and it lasted 5 hours. ABC News also received a fax at 8:23 from someone that was claiming to be Vester, and it was supposedly labelled as a suicide note for his friends and family. He spoke about grievances he had had with the company and this alleged racial discrimination that he'd suffered whilst working for them, along with sexual harassment. He stated that he believed that he was targeted for losing his job because he was a homosexual black man. He said that he was provoked to carry out this attack on Alison and Adam because of the Charleston church shootings, which happened 2 months prior, and apparently that was his tipping point. So before we get more into the case, let's get more into Vester and why he was fired. He was dismissed on the 1st of February in 2013, and it was said because of his behaviour. Colleagues at the time apparently said that he used to lash out at staff often, and even at the time of his dismissal, he would have to be escorted out because he was lashing out. He was very angry and he was lashing out all over the place, and he actually had an escort out of the building. After this, Vester filed a complaint with the company, and it was against racial discrimination. Long after being fired, he continued with his claims of being racially discriminated against, and he often talks about it on a social media platform and things like that. And so, you know, they're claiming that they fired him because of his behaviour, and I mean, by what he did, like, it would seem more likely to me that it was on his behaviour. Obviously, I don't know whether there's any racial discrimination going on in the company whatsoever. I can't comment on that. I have no idea. But just with how he acted makes me think more it was his behaviour. Again, my opinion, I do not know. I cannot claim that there was no racial discrimination going on because I don't know. So he could have been discriminated against because he was a homosexual black man, or he might not have been. I'm not trying to put blame on the company for discriminating against him or anything like that, and I'm not trying to say that they didn't because I just don't know. Back to the same day the attack happened. Before 10 a.m, Vester apparently phoned the police and made a full confession. And from that, they were able to track and locate where he was. They found that Vester had actually left his car at Roanoke Blacksburg Regional Airport, and this is where he then got into a rental car and began driving that around, basically so that they couldn't find him as easily. He drove north on the I-81, then turned the car east on the I-66, and this is when an automatic number plate tagged the number, and a Virginia state trooper identified him at 11:20 a.m. The trooper called for backup, and they tried to do a traffic stop on him, but he ignored it and just carried on driving. He just sped away. Police pursued, and there was this big police chase, but after about 2 miles, Vester actually ran his car off the side of the road and hit an embankment near Markham. They found Vester inside, and he was suffering from what was thought to be self-inflicted gunshot wounds. So, of course, they airlifted him to the closest hospital, and despite their very best efforts to keep him alive, at 1:26 p.m. he was declared as deceased. Police searched his rental car. They found the Glock pistol inside that had been used to murder Alison and Adam, along with ammunition, things like that. They also found his phone, a letter, this to-do list that he had written out, and this suitcase in his car which had at least 3 license plates in it, along with several disguises and a wig. Now, they also found out something else. At 11:14 a.m, Vester had actually uploaded a 56-second video that he had recorded on his phone, and it was of the attack. He uploaded it to Twitter and Facebook accounts, and of course it spread. It was taken down on all of the websites that it could have been, but it spread like wildfire because people make copies of them, as I've said before, and then they just share it everywhere. It's really hard to get hold of videos like that and to try and get them taken off completely because there's normally always a trace somewhere. The video shows him walking up to the film crew where Alison and Adam are interviewing Vicky. It shows him stand there for about 15 seconds with the gun in front of the shot, like in view, and they're just so focused on what they're doing and their interview that they don't even notice, and it is so sad. And then he begins shooting them. It's so traumatic and tragic. It is something I am not putting in my video out of respect for Alison and Adam and their families. They want off the internet. They have tried to get it off the internet on so many occasions, but as I said, it is so hard and people just keep sharing it, and I don't know, they don't take it down, but that is what they're trying to do. I get people are curious and want to see things like that, but obviously Alison and Adam's family, that is their loved ones, and they don't want it out there, and who can blame them for that? It's really upsetting and it's hurtful, and obviously I don't want to hurt anyone. So yeah, Alison and Adam were brutally murdered, literally on live TV. The person that did it, Vester, filmed it all, and he uploaded his side of it all on the internet. for everyone to see, and then he essentially tried to kill himself. And well, he did kill himself. He succeeded because he couldn't get away from the police. He ran his car off the road, probably shot himself to try and end his life, and succeeded. So it's really, really sad that they didn't actually manage to catch him before he did that, because he never got to serve his justice in prison and serve time in that sense. Some people may say that justice has been served because he is no longer alive. Other people believe that a prison sentence is much more justified. What happened to both of them is honestly so tragic. They were literally just doing their jobs. They were out doing an interview and they got murdered for it, and it's just tragic, all because of a disgruntled employee. I don't even know why he targeted Alison or Adam, whether it's just because, whether he had some sort of grievance against them personally, or whether it was just because they were the ones who were doing an interview at that time and he knew where it was. I do not know, but it's just so tragic, this case. I do believe that he plotted to kill them live on air to probably get the most impact that he could. He literally recorded it and uploaded it as well. Like, it's a shock factor for people, and I believe he just tried to make the biggest impact that he could, and he succeeded in that sense, I guess, because it got out there and it's still out there, unfortunately. My heart truly goes out to Alison's family, Adam's family, for such a traumatic loss of life, and in such a horrific way too. But yeah, that is the end of the case. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for similar content to join the pack. And to all my regulars, I appreciate you guys. Anyway, that's all I have on the case of Alison Parker and Adam Ward. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.